on fire, to inspire, 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 on fire, to inspire. We're excited that you tuned in for a time of with Miss Aliyah Butler. It's a show. She's an author, motivator, inspirational speaker. She's on fire to inspire the whole world. She's a girl. On fire to inspire, on fire to inspire, on fire to she's on fire. On fire to inspire, on fire to inspire, to inspire. Inspiration, motivation, encouragement, empowerment. You need inspiration, motivation, encouragement as well. Thank you for tuning to the show. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the sponsors of the show. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you for joining us this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with us. And for that, we are totally grateful. I want to thank our sponsors right now. I want to thank mombizboss.org. If you are an entrepreneur, you're a female, and you are looking to get started in your own business, or you're already in your own business, this is a place to collaborate with other women and like-minded women that you all can just have a great time with learning and gleaning from each other. And there is a monthly brunch that we all look forward to, right? So that's mombizboss.org. Now, uebdesigns.com. Y'all see me with different pieces of jewelry each and every week. These pieces are sponsored by uebdesigns.com. Now, see, and I forgot my bracelet, child, so forgive me. But UEB Designs, like unique expression by design, uebdesigns.com, and you can get your pieces there. And they have jewelry, clothing, some clothing pieces, jewelry, and different accessories, handbags, things of that nature. We also have Come Dance with Mina. If you are you love the health and wellness side of things, you want to join that class on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all. We get our boogie on with Zumba, right? And so we have a great, great time, and we will be having our second line dance class on January 29th. So go check out Come Dance with Mina on Facebook, and you'll find out more about her classes, as well as the line dance class that's coming up at the end of the month. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining over in Facebook land, over in LinkedIn land, as well as YouTube. If you're watching from YouTube and you have not yet subscribed to us, please go subscribe. And if you are a Facebook follower, I want y'all to go over to YouTube and subscribe as well. It's under Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. And I'll go ahead and put all of that in here a little later. Also, if you're a leader in any capacity and you don't have the book entitled Leadership Inside Trajectory, you need to go right now to iworkfaith.com and get your copy of that book. Finally, but last but not least, you want to go to onfiretoinspire.com and get any of the books that I've released. I have a children's book that teaches foundational English and Spanish. And then I have On Fire to Inspire, the book, which is poetry. Well, there is pieces that God would give me to inspire and encourage people. And all of those pieces are on Amazon or my website, onfiretoinspire.com. And then finally, the last two books that were released was the affirmational coloring book, as well as the affirmations journal. And so y'all, at this time of the year is perfect for the affirmations. Whether you're doing the journaling, you can start writing down what you want to see manifest. And then with the coloring, being intentional about self-care. Because as I tell you all the time, self-care is not optional, it's essential. All right, so y'all, thank you to all our sponsors. And we're gonna hop right in with our interview. I want to thank God for this divine connection. We've been friends on Facebook for several years and we follow each other. Great evening, everybody, as you're joining. Let us know in the comments where you're joining in from. What state are you joining in from? Let me know. Let us know. All right, so we're going to bring Dr. Naomi Bullock on with us. Great evening and welcome to On Fire to Inspire. How are you?
Hello, hello. Good to see you.
To see you as well. Welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I want you to introduce yourself. I don't like to just read people's bios and, bore people because you lose people. So I want you to tell people who is Dr. Naomi Bullock.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Just want to really take a moment to thank the purpose midwife herself, Miss Aaliyah, for allowing me to spend some time with you today. You were just such a blessing to the masses. And I just want to say, Happy New Year to everyone. Yes, I am Dr. Naomi Bullock. I inspire others to obtain freedom, to live life on purpose and on your own terms. I am a business strategist. I am a life coach. I'm a speaker. And I have been an educator for the past 20 years, presently serving as an assistant principal at an elementary school. So, again, thank you for the opportunity.
You are so welcome. You're so welcome. I did not realize you were an assistant principal as well. So you're in the education world.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
All right. All right. So tell us the next question is what does the topic mean to you? What does the topic of pathway to purpose mean to you?
That's a great question. When you talk about purpose, and I know that's one of your passions, you talk about purpose, it sounds so profound, yet it is so simple, right? We are all on a journey. And every day, we're making choices on what direction should I take. Our reality is we all want to live a purpose filled life, right? We all want to walk in our calling. We all want to do the work that we have been called to accomplish. And so, purpose, it can be very abstract, it can be very subjective, right? So, how do we pinpoint exactly what is purpose and what is the pathway? What I want to share is not a destination, right? It is not a checklist. Like I've done these 10 things and I'm well on my way, right? It's not like that at all. It is a journey. It's having your intentions, having your objective, defining your goals in life, right? What's going to give you personal meaning. And I don't want people to think that once they have discovered their purpose, if you will, that they've arrived and then that's it, right? We can have multiple things that bring us joy, that are part of our own unique pathway to purpose. And most importantly, strengthening the next generation and helping them also find their purpose as well.
Amen. So how did you get into the coaching side of this being something that's near and dear to your heart as well?
The fact is, I think a lot of people kind of dibbled and dabbled a little bit during quarantine and all of the things, and just seeing a lot of hopelessness and helplessness. And, I strive to be positive on purpose, right? People think, oh, you're just so happy all the time. Well, it takes effort to do that, right? It's not by happenstance that I'm positive. We all have issues, we all have problems, but you got to make a decision that you're not going to allow those things to weigh you down, to bring you down, and to stop your joy. And so that's really what birthed, the coaching side of who I am and whose I am, and just having, I think social media as a platform to again have that immediate access to people directly one on one and being able to walk alongside people, encourage people, help people. Because a lot of times with the coaching, you don't have the answer as a coach, right? You just got to have the right questions to
Right.
help people discover, because they already have it within them. So that's really how that all began.
I love it. I love it. And one of the things I like what you said you're positive on purpose. And I love that because that gives me the word that I have, that's one of my main words for this year, and it's being intentional. I'm being intentional about everything. So you're intentional about being positive. I'm intentional about, the interviews. I'm intentional about everything to make sure that there's growth in every area of 2023. Right. So,
Yeah.
yes, I love that. Is there a word that you have for this, or words or a mantra that you have for 2023 with your clients?
I think for me, it's kind of like a two-word, maybe a phrase: consistent action.
Okay. I
Because
love that.
we all, we buy a book, or we buy a course, or we do some new training, we do all of the learning, and then
Hmm.
what? So if we're going to sit together, you're going to invest in having that time with me, and put it into action and be consistent with it, because that's where you're going to see the progression over time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, are there any key points as we talk about the topic itself? Are there any key points that you want to talk about when talking about that pathway to purpose? Any key points or questions, key questions that you want to push into that place?
Absolutely. Again, it's not, a check off list or anything like that, but some of the things that, I believe would be important for someone on that journey, that pathway to purpose, is to let go of fear.
Hmm.
I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to do this work. This is real personal. We just keep busy. We're gonna raise our kids, or we're gonna get the degrees, or we're just busy all the time. And I think sometimes that's because of the fear that we have inside about, what if I can't discover my purpose? What if I don't have a purpose, right? And people sometimes feel despair just in that regards, even without taking one step to discovering why they are here and why they were placed at this moment in time as well, right? So I think that's one of the first pieces, is to let go of the fear. It's okay. It's a journey. It's not like a yes or no, or a multiple choice question where you got to get it right or anything like that. But at least take the first step in discovering, in regardless of what the outcome might be. Another thing that I would point out is we really got to take time for us, for our own selves. And again, that's that intimate work that we have to do on a daily basis. Allow yourself the time, the space, the freedom to do it. I really want to encourage everyone to do what brings or gives you joy as well, because I know our generation probably, we're taught exactly what direction we needed to do, right? Get a good education, get a good job, take care of your family, right? And so I think we sometimes forget that it's okay to do what gives you joy, and you can maybe monetize what gives you joy. So it's okay. You don't have to just take one pathway. Even if you've done that, from like myself personally, I've done one thing for 20 years. Doesn't matter, right? If something else brings me joy, you better believe I'm gonna do that thing as well, right? So giving yourself that permission to do what gives you joy. And so when you give yourself the opportunity and the time to do that, I really do believe that will lead you to identify what you want out of life. What do you want out of life? I think sometimes, and we're all guilty, myself included, just going through the motions. A week has passed, 2 weeks have passed, a month has passed. It's like, what have you got accomplished? What have you done? And so we need to just snap out of that and make sure we identify, what is it that we want out of this life. A really quick and simple something that folks can do and implement really quickly and easily is make a list. I encourage you, make a list of 10 things that you want to do and 10 things that you want to have. And when you do that, again, for some of us, we might have to come back to that list 4 or 5 times to get 10 things, right? Because we haven't given ourselves that freedom to dream again, to live again, right? So we might not know what do I want to do? What do I want to have? We might not know the answer to it, right? And so some of us, our minds think a little bit differently. And I've been working on this, and I want to do this, and I'm gonna do this real quick. But that's not for everybody, right? So I just think that you start there, even if it's 5 things. Slow down, take a minute, get out your journal, write it out. What they say, write the plan, right? Create the vision, write the plan. Right? What is it? What do I want to have? What do I want to do? Write that out. And lastly, I would say create a vision statement and live it. Just that simple. What is a vision for your life? And that's really just piecing together, your goals and aspirations. Right? That's really all it is, and then live out what it is that you say you want to have.
Girl, I'm loving it. I'm taking notes and actually posting it so that they can see it. So I'm trying to be the scribe in the thing, and I see other people typing as well. Thank y'all so much for the other scribes in here because they're loving it. Um, Co-Pastor T says, "Give yourself permission to do what gives you joy." She put 3 exclamation points and put your name right behind it.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that because one of the things I even posted this in my personal group that I have with women called I Am Inspirations. You're a part of my group as well. And I posted this morning about taking the time to just give God time, number one, because that time with Him, you'll be able to just kind of decompress and just and be still enough to listen because He'll guide you. But He's always talking. A lot of times we're too busy to hear, you know. And then number two, taking that time for yourself to be able to do those things that you said. And so you heard me say where I said self care is not optional. It's mandatory. It's essential. I can't serve you without me from an empty plate.
That's
So
right.
what did they say on the airplane when the stewardess say?
Put it on you first.
Put it on you.
Oxygen mask. Yes.
Amen. So as you're thinking, ladies and gentlemen, because we have men that follow us as well, as you're thinking about what she just said, think about and visualize that oxygen mask coming down as you're thinking about the points that she just gave you. Because if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself, what's going to happen if you continue to serve someone else and you're out of oxygen? You know?
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my good. I'm loving it. Um, and journaling could also be a place of stress relief for people too, because some people have so many stressful jobs. I see that we have a couple of people in the currently in medical field as well as retirees that's in the medical field. That's a very stressful job, and they're essential workers, so they didn't get a break when the rest of everybody else worked. You know,
So
so yes, I love those points. So y'all, if y'all did not get those points, she gave us some great golden nuggets over there. So y'all gonna have to listen to the replay because I did not write them down, but I typed them in. Usually I do the writing down and I type them in later, but I had to type them in today. I had to type them on in. But yeah, one of the things I did love that you said was do something that brings you joy and makes you happy. So many times people have done what mama wanted them to do and daddy wanted them to do. Where I was a doctor and you got to be a doctor like me. Well, God ain't called may not have called me to do that. I don't like blood, so I know I wasn't called into medical.
you know that for a fact.
I knew that wasn't me. But also, let's speak to that person, Dr. Naomi. Well, let's speak to the person that they've been 20 years in a field and they feel like, okay, I don't know anything else but this. but I really love this. Let's speak to that person because I just really feel them in my spirit for some reason. And so let's talk to that person.
It's very interesting that you bring that to light because, I think it's more common than we know or think of. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that kind of brings us full circle to that let go of the fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to make a decision, right? Think about it. The worst thing that could happen is you got to go back. Come
Woo, come on now.
on now.
Yes.
What you don't want to do, you don't want to live your life thinking, what if? So I've done this for 20 years. And what are you going to do? Work at another 10 to get your 30-year time in to get your pension? Like, first of all, listen, you got to be passionate now, midwife, purpose midwife. First of all, you don't know that you're going to be here in 10 years. Come on, somebody.
Mm.
So let's
Mm-mm.
put that thing in perspective. So give yourself permission. Let go of the fear. Realize that you might make a mistake. It might not be a good move. You might not, find joy in doing something different, but you will never know. You'll never know if you don't try. And so I just feel like, if not now, then when? What are you waiting for? Because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And so
Mm.
you don't want to live a life of regret. If you still have air, oxygen in your lungs, go ahead and try something new. Remember, we talked about doing what brings you joy. Dabble some things, right? I'm not saying, be irresponsible and not have income coming into your family. Don't say I said that now. I'm not saying that. But you can dabble a little bit here, a little bit there. Just like it took you 20 years to become this professional or become an expert in this field, it will probably take you time as you transition to the next level and to the next opportunity. So be wise with it. But what I don't want you to do is just stop and do not become paralyzed because you only know one thing. Okay. Millionaires have 7 streams of income. They're not sitting around doing one thing. So in 2023, come on now. I don't want to hear that. We're not taking no excuses over here.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Deborah says you won't know till you try. I love it, Deborah. And co-pastor says, if not now, then when? And what are you waiting for? I love it. They're reminding us of your words. Uh, Minister May Francis said, now I'm getting ready to enter a different world at age 72. So she's coming into entrepreneurship at age 72. She wrote a piece that got into chicken noodle soup for the soul. I think making you whole was the last part of it. I think that's what I remember. I do remember chicken noodle soup for the soul. The name of her piece was doing it alone. And she gave her testimony. And she did that. Let's see, we did our book signing 2 years ago. She did that at 70 or 71. And so, it's you can't put an expiration date. Oh God, thank you, Holy Spirit.
Come
You
on.
can't put an expiration date on what God has called you to do. I had no clue that life was going to be starting over at 40. And guess what? I love what I do. I love what I do in the private sector of speaking to parents, teaching them, things in that aspect. But I also love what I do in the aspect of doing this and being a motivation, doing motivation, and it's time for me to, come up even in that because there's so many people that on a regular basis I'm talking to. And it's like, okay, time to step that up.
It
And
is.
so for those of you who have gotten complacent, let's talk to them next, Dr. Naomi. Okay, we're gonna speak to the ones that's been complacent because they ringing in my ears right now. So let's talk to the complacent people. Girl, let's talk to them.
Yeah. The fact is, you can't keep doing the same thing day in and day out, expecting something else. Right? What do they say? That's insanity.
Yes,
You
yes.
can't. You have a bigger vision for your life. and for your family, right? And so, what you have done up until this point, give yourself credit for that. Job well done. Pat yourself on the back, right? You've done a great work. However, it's time to jump into the next level. So, the things that we did, we can't do those things and think we're going to get a different result. It's time for us to level up. Okay,
Yes,
so if you're just doing the same thing and every day in and day out, you never pick up a book, including the Bible, right? You never pick up, right? You don't read nobody articles. You don't look at, you don't do nothing else but get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, right? We can't do that in 2023. It is time out for that. It's time for you to go to the next level. It's been long enough. Like I said, I'm not discounting anything that you've done, the great work that you've done. So please don't take it that way, right? I give you kudos and shout outs for that. But we got to take it to the next level. It's your time, it's your season. It's time. Like I just have that passion for the next generation, because they are watching us. They might not say
yes,
a whole lot, but they're watching every single thing that we're doing. So we can't expect them to do all of the things to help us when we're old, older and wise and seasoned, right? We can't do that, right? We got to be the example to show them. Remember, I talked about those millionaires having 7 streams of income. Why not have your offspring doing the same thing? Why can't they do some drop shipping or e-commerce or, just think outside the box? We don't have to keep doing the same old things that we've been doing. I say continue to do those things. That could be one stream of income, but you need 6 more.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Our 72-year-old said she registered today to get her master's in biblical studies. Congratulations. So,
That's
y'all, that's
amazing.
what I'm talking about. Our Shiro tonight. So, Minister May, congratulations.
Wow.
On that, because as I said a moment ago, you can't put an expiration date on what God has called you to do, and she's living and living example of what that statement says. Um, Deborah says, level up to the next stage in your life. Yes, you
Yes.
better come on in, Miss Deborah.
Loving it.
Yes, it's time to level up and walk in this is what I one of my things that I love are affirmations, and y'all know that from the personal group that I do. I am inspirations, and one of the things I love to do is share affirmations. And as I was working out this morning, I actually was saying affirmations because you got to understand who you are, whose you are, and whose DNA you have in you. And
Yeah,
so, as David did, you got to encourage yourself sometime. And as the encourager, many times you're the one that's always giving out. But at some point, you got to either get poured into or you got to pour into yourself, baby.
absolutely. That's one of the things that I work with my clients on really is creating a mantra. And it doesn't have to be complicated. 3 word mantra. I choose, you fill in the blank. I
Yeah.
choose joy. I choose peace. I choose love. I choose unstoppable. Whatever it is, repeat that mantra every single day. Repeat it throughout the day and just wait and see all of those things come to fruition, right? But you can't get what you don't speak, right? So you got to speak it on a daily and a consistent basis.
Love it, love it, love it. I put choose a 3-word mantra, I choose, and then I put a blank for them to fill in theirs. And so, yeah, I love it. Exactly. Dr. Jones says exactly must do different things for income and let it be purposeful. Yes, ma'am. That's our word today. Intentional, purposeful, and what else you said earlier?
That
Um,
consistent action.
yes, the consistent
Mhm.
action
Yeah.
that you were purpose you were positive on purpose. So
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
honey, she's on a roll. Our 72-year-old said she's also become a notary public, and she's standing on God's word.
Wow.
So she
What a
got her second win
declaration.
at 72, y'all. So what's our excuse? What's our excuse?
We don't have one.
So we don't have one. You know, you have people living with disabilities that say, you know what, that's
Mhm.
not gonna be that. You have people that have been, you remember, when I'm shifting gears for a moment, because this is how my brain works sometimes. Do you remember growing up how your parents used to say, get a good job with good benefits and work 20 years? That
Yep.
don't exist anymore.
Mhm.
And so you can't stay stuck in that mindset and think that you're going to be happy. Because I know friends, I have a really close friend that she worked for a job over 20 years and they had a layoff. They had gotten bought out several times, but that last time she got laid off.
Mhm.
And if she had been stuck in that place, she would have been in her 40s just stuck. But she
Mhm.
was able to, what's the word? She was able to pivot. She was able
Yes.
to pivot. And she
Yes.
loves her position now. She works from home and, you know, hey, doing what she has to do. So in some cases, you may have to pivot, but there's a purpose in the pivot, number
Yes.
one. Number two, still, like Dr. Naomi said, it's time for you to do something that brings you joy. And
Mhm.
if you're doing whatever it is to pay the bills and doing something that brings you joy, there's a balance now.
Mhm.
You know? Because if you hate that 9 to 5, but you're making good money, then while you're building your other streams, keep doing those other streams because that brings you joy while you're, doing what you do. What you think?
I love it. I mean, it's not all or nothing. It's not black and white. And I think that's really kind of the voice and what we're trying to share with everyone this evening, right? That your
Mhm.
purpose, you can decide what that is, and it might change from decade to decade, right? We say you have someone, a viewer that's in her 70s, a whole nother decade, right, of her
Yeah.
life and of her journey, and she's got this newfound experiences that she's able to enjoy even in her
Mhm.
70s, y'all. So we
Mhm.
can't just say, like I said, purpose, the pathway to purpose is not checklist. Can't just say, okay, I did these 10 steps, done, I found a purpose.
Yeah.
No, it is like you said, it's a journey and it can change mid-course corrections from time to time. You may be in a season and this may bring you joy for this moment, and then that might fizzle a little bit. Don't judge yourself and say, well, oh, I don't know what to do next. You do. Like you said, the Holy Spirit is directing our interview right now. You're getting those impartations from time to time. The same thing that we do with our own lives on a day-to-day basis, right?
Mhm.
So this has
Mhm.
fizzled out. Okay, what is it I'm to do next? And you
Yeah.
pivot and you move into that direction as well. And then it may change again. Don't judge yourself and think, oh, I don't know what I want to do, because what's my purpose is not your purpose, and so forth and so on. The next person and the next person. Each one of us has our own unique purpose in life. And so
Yeah.
I think that's the beautiful thing about it. You don't have to be in a box. Nobody,
Yeah.
you put yourself in that box if you're in a box. You don't have to be in a box.
That's so true. That is so true. Christina says she loved that there's a purpose in the pivot. And if I'm not mistaken, that is a quote from our UEB Designs, UEBdesign.com owner, Angelise Washington. I want to say she created that because she had some planners, journals one year. And I want to say that first year we had to do that, she had her I want to say purpose with a pivot, or pivot on purpose, something to
Mhm.
that. But as it hit my spirit, I said purpose and the pivot. So I don't want to take her as my own, but that came to me, and it just came to me who actually said something to that effect. So I'm not that person trying to steal anybody else. Deborah says love, joy, peace, and happiness, intentionally on purpose, disabilities unstoppable and fearless. All right, Deborah. Y'all are on it tonight. Oh, Minister May says you can be your best new life. You can have your best new life after 50 and children are grown. So she said even after 50, you can have a new life and it can be your best life. We don't have to have this or that. We can have this and that.
Yes.
Darius Daniels. Yes, that's true. You don't have to have this or that. You can have it all.
Mhm.
And I like that. Thank you for that quote. I love that.
Yes. And
Have
I
that.
totally agree with that. The fact is, I think, again, we put ourselves in boxes. that I think we've created, and we think only, I can only do this one thing. You can do it all. And that's, I'm not trying to say it as a cliche, but you really can, right? If you want to do multiple things, even at the same time, you can do. What we need to do is stop saying I do this and say and. Keep just adding and to it. And, right? Until it just flows. It does, it's not uncomfortable anymore. Because I think sometimes we might shame people. They, well, what do you do? Just keep on adding and. I do all of these things.
Yes, yes. I had two things. One thing that just hit me, it was in it. You know how they say, "Who told you you were naked?" Have you ever heard that
Yeah.
in that biblical thing? Who told you were naked? Well,
Mhm.
who told you to get in that box anyway?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
there's no one. And then Deborah said, "Seasons, choices, and decisions changes for many people and reasons for in your lives, and that's at 62 and going." That's what I'm talking about, Miss Deborah.
Yes.
Deborah
Yes.
bringing the fire tonight. Y'all doing it tonight.
Encourage.
Y'all doing it.
Encourage one another.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things I love about your group that I'm a part of. Brilliantly, tell me
Brilliantly
again.
fulfilled on purpose.
Brilliantly fulfilled on purpose. And y'all heard your group is private or public?
You can, it's private, but you can see it.
Okay. So her group is private and it's you can actually see it, and my group is private and you can actually see it. But we both Monday through Friday, for the most part, we're intentionally encouraging women as because we're both. I know that's my call. I have people both that both follow me, but I know that's my call. And so, if you're interested in joining her group, y'all look up brilliantly. Say it again.
Brilliantly fulfilled on purpose.
That's the name of her private group. And then my private group is I Am Inspiration. And we both encourage people and inspire people on a daily basis. We ask questions and bring out thought to help move you from that place of complacency. Because I've never heard of a millionaire being in their comfort zone and making it in their comfort zone. You ever
Correct.
heard that?
Nope, never. Not one.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, yeah, I've loved this tonight. Now I understand my technology issue because I was tested it out 2 hours prior, and then it was about 20 minutes to get ready to go on in. It just would not load. I had to use, I think I tried three. This was my third thing to try device to try. So I understand. I always know when
Mhm.
I have that kind of issue. I start praying anyway against the technology issue. But then I also understand that it's a part of the purpose and the plan. Somebody's fire got relit, or
Mhm.
somebody's fire got engulfed. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, "Oh yes." And so, thank you so much, Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah said, "Great job, ladies." And
Oh.
so,
Here.
anything else you want to leave with our listeners tonight?
You see me playing with my little bane here. You know what? I think again, I just wanted to give honor where honor is due and just appreciate you so much, our purpose midwife. Um,
Thank
the things that you do, seen and unseen, definitely appreciate you so very much. And all of the ladies and gentlemen on the line this evening, I just want to give you permission. I want to give you permission. I want to encourage you to take time for YOU. Take time for you. I don't want you to feel selfish about it. I don't want you to feel like, you're abandoning anyone else because you're taking time for yourself. I want you to begin the process of understanding that you are worth it. You are so worth it. I don't know what anybody else has told you before, but you are so worth it. And if you take the time to really write out the plan and be actionable, remember earlier I talked about my term for the year, consistent action. Every single day, work on becoming a better you. That's always our goal, right? To be better tomorrow than I was yesterday, right? And so when you just give yourself that permission to live your life on purpose, right, you will have so many benefits. You will gain clarity on what it is you are to do. You will gain passion. You will become passionate about your life's work. You will even become happier, right? You'll get that sense of happiness because you're doing what you were called to do. And let me tell you, you will have fulfillment, and you'll wake up every day with a sense of joy that you've never experienced before because you're walking in your purpose. And the last thing is you will find peace. Come on, somebody. The peace
Mhm.
that nobody can take away from you because you're walking in your purpose. This your time, it's your season.
I absolutely love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And tell everyone how they can follow you, how they can connect with you to follow you, from here forward. Because some people need to hear, that wake up call that you're having as well. One of the things you'll find that I'm not a person that feel like I'm in competition with anybody, because when you understand that you're called to some people and I'm called to others, then you're not in competition. Maybe times where you're collaborating, like in this instance.
Absolutely. Well, we sisters, so there's no competition necessary. If you say it's enough for all of us.
Right, right.
Yeah, you can find me, on Facebook, Naomi Bullock. I am also on Instagram, Naomi J Bullock, and on TikTok, Naomi Bullock. So I mean, that's just kind of what you can do to find me. I don't necessarily have a website per se. I think the most bang for your buck would be to join the group Brilliantly Fulfilled on Purpose, because that way you'll be connected to the challenges and the different things that we're doing and those training opportunities that we have available as well. But that's pretty much how you can find me.
Love it. Thank you so very much for joining us, taking the time out to join us tonight. We have truly, truly enjoyed it, and I see with all the feedback that others have as well. So we look forward to you coming back and doing some more with us in the future. So you reach back out to me when you have some time and you got a topic that's going to pour into the people, because it's time for us to lock arms and get people ready to move forward and move forth in the things that they're called to.
Anytime. Again, appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks again. All right, guys. So this has been an awesome, awesome show tonight. If you missed any of it, you want to go back and watch our replay. I have a favor to ask you guys. I need you to go over to YouTube, and if you have not followed us and subscribed already over there, I need you to go subscribe under Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife, and just go subscribe. You can hear our replay over there, and do a comment, like and comment on anything that spoke to your heart tonight, that spoke to your spirit. What stuck with you? Go over there, subscribe, like, and tell us that information. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you same time, same place next week on Fire to Inspire. I'm Aaliyah, your Purpose Midwife. Love you guys.